Only on 93.3 FM, and you too can become a tailgater.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
To the Big Apple. I'm Mary Corsetti, Fox News. New York declares a state of emergency to address potential healthcare staff shortages as the coronavirus vaccine mandate is scheduled to go into effect Monday.
In less than 24 hours, if New York State healthcare workers do not have at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, they could lose their job, and Governor Kathy Hochul is preparing for just that. The state's response plan includes preparing to issue a state of emergency necessary. It would bring in new professionals, retired medical workers, or even medically trained members of the National Guard to assist with staffing shortages. This comprehensive plan isn't just for hospitals, but also for other long-term care facilities. Workers who were let go for failing to get their shot will not qualify for unemployment insurance, and that is unless they can prove that this is due to a medical reason.
Fox's Alex Hogan and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi pledging a vote this week on a bipartisan infrastructure bill. President Biden, returning to the White House Sunday, says he feels good about it getting done.
I'm optimistic about this week. It's going to take the better part of the week, I think.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi moved the vote on the infrastructure bill from Monday to Thursday. Plus, friends and family gathered to remember Gabby Petito Sunday during a memorial on her native Long Island in New York.
Despite the circumstances of his daughter's death, her father, Joe Petito, asking people not to be sad.
Gabby didn't live that way. That wasn't her way. She was always pretty a happy girl.
Petito also seemed to reference his daughter's reportedly troubled relationship with Brian Laundrie without naming the man who is now the subject of a massive manhunt.
There's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you. Leave it now.
Gabby's stepfather, Jim Schmidt, urged people to live the way she did.
She is an example for all of us to live by, to enjoy every moment in this beautiful world as she did.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
America is listening to Fox News.
Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts ad-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Trey Gowdy, the Fox News Rundown, Will Kane, Brian Kilmeade, and so much more. Go to foxnewspodcasts.com for all the details. The Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, featuring insight from top newsmakers, reporters, and Fox News contributors. Listen and subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, as low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore, as low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
Russia.
It was a near certainty that it would happen at some point this season, and on Sunday at the Russian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton reached an historic milestone.
Hamilton is going to get 100. He came into this race as a gladiator. He finds the checkered flag as a centurion.
Sound courtesy of F1 TV. Hamilton taking the checkered flag, his 100th Grand Prix victory of his career, the first Formula One driver to ever reach that mark. The Mercedes driver now 9 wins clear of Michael Schumacher for the most victories ever. As a bonus, Hamilton took back the top spot in the driver's standings as well with the win. He's now 2 points ahead of rival Max Verstappen in his chase for a 5th straight series championship. Ryan Mayer, Fox News.
And another European country moves to legalize same-sex marriage. Fox's Samantha Liebman has more.
It looks like Swiss voters are backing same-sex marriage. Early exit polls show the national referendum has the support from a majority of voters. However, Monica Ruger of the right-wing Swiss People's Party says she's disappointed, telling Reuters, quote, "This was not about love and feelings. It was about children's welfare. Children and fathers are the losers here. The law will allow same-sex couples to marry and adopt children unrelated to them. Married lesbian couples would also be allowed to have children through sperm donation, which was only legal for heterosexual couples. It will also make it easier for foreign spouses to get citizenship." Samantha Liebman, Fox News.
I'm Mary Corsetti, and this is Fox News.
Leah Dunca from Security Title here with a little information about trusts. A trust is a legal entity capable of owning property. It can protect property from issues such as lawsuits or divorce and can be used to distribute property and avoid probate. Many trusts start as revocable but become irrevocable when the initial trustees die. Work with your estate planning attorney to see if a trust is a good fit for your family property. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
We buy a homeowner's policy and never give it another thought until something happens. Life brings changes, and our coverage needs can change. The smart thing to do is get the answers and level up our insurance to make sure we're totally protected.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
There's so much that's new with the Eat Fresh, Refresh at Subway restaurants that we can't possibly fit it all into one radio spot, but I'm gonna try. There are amazing new toppings like hickory smoked bacon, bacon and smashed avocado. Try your favorite sub on the new breads like the hearty multigrain wheat or the artisan Italian white bread. Not to mention Subway's thicker, juicier steak. That's all I have time for. You gotta refresh to be fresh. Only at Subway.
Guam Auto Spot has the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage starting at $127 per paycheck. Zero down. Call 671-478-AUTO to take a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
Welcome to Tall Tales with Bob Klitzkie, the only show on talk radio where common sense is a lot more common. Phone lines are now open at 888-TALK. That's 888-8255. And now, The Point proudly brings you Tall Tales with Senator Bob Klitzkie.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, getting us started on today's edition of Tall Tales. I'm Darrell Taggerty. Thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon. Sitting in for Bob Klitzkie, who will be back after his travels. And so let's go ahead and enjoy our afternoon together. We will be together for the next 2 hours, and I do hope you find the show to be interesting. You can call 888-8255 and let me know what's on your mind. It might be something that has escaped my view. I've taken a look at some of the editorials and also, starting to build a list of things that we might want to talk about besides what's in the minds of the editors of the main papers. And we're also looking forward to a new edition of Pacific Island Times. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these items for Zami Ikatni for the whole weekend. All right. And also welcome to all of you who are watching on Facebook. For those of you who can see me, my glasses are not a fashion statement. It is. My regular glasses have reached the end of their service life, and so I can see what I have to do. I can see what I have to with these, and you'll see me sporting some new ones by Wednesday afternoon. So If it's a new look, it's purely incidental. Anyway, welcome to radio. Anyway, you don't have to look at me. Just listen, and if you have something to say, call us again, 888-8255. In Zami Ikatni, we've got editorials from the last 3 days of PDN, Guam Daily Post, only yesterday and today, but interesting for the most part. Let's take a look at the editorial for Pacific Daily News from Saturday. And it is, caution, take simple safety measures in, on, or around the ocean. I'm not going to read it to you. You heard me talk about this last week. Thank you, Jose. The editorial, this particular editorial, again presents a recurring standard reporting of ocean hazards masquerading as an opinion. Original editorial thought is missing. Lazy and a poor use of editorial feature space in the paper, in my opinion. It's just, they may as well have run something from the Washington Post or New York Times. Although it was a beautiful surf coming in because of the swells from the typhoon that is off in the Philippine Sea. I'm sure the surfers know what to do, and we don't have enough tourists to worry about, really. And for those of us who live here, we know to be cautious, especially cautious when there's a storm that has passed by. But it's really not an editorial subject, or an opinion subject. It is really good to remind folks from official sources and keep drumming that into their head. It doesn't take the newspaper editors to tell us. So on Sunday, the PDN editorial was entitled, Approve Sanctuary's Application for a Residential Treatment Facility. Again, I'm not going to read it to you. But if you read it, you'll understand why I'm about to say what I'm going to say. Did I read this article correctly? It credits Delegate Mike Sinicholas with inserting the funding language to the Build Back Better National Infrastructure Funding Bill still being negotiated in Congress. Then describes the current limitation on space at Sanctuary for youths with alcohol and drug addiction. Quotes the local sanctuary director as having amended his application for a larger facility based on the announcement by our delegate of the increased funding, then places PDN's editorial weight behind approval of their application. That's the editorial. Weird. Not that we don't need it, but perhaps a real feature story, or even the editorial, would include numbers on actual demand. How many medical referrals or screened and eligible applicants exist on Guam? Those that we know about through medical and official sources, the courts, the self-referral, whatever. What's the demand for residential treatment for youth for drug addiction and alcohol abuse?